welcome to the pre-match press conference of the 131st edition of the Indian Oil Durand Cup. We are just one day ahead of the grand finale, which is tomorrow. We have with us Mr. Buckingham and Mourtada for Mumbai City FC. As usual, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat below, and if we ask them on behalf of you, please mention your full name and your publication name. Let's begin, Coach. Coach and Mourtada with the mass press conference. Coach, first question for you. It's been more than a month into the pre-season now, and the season begins in 3 weeks. Can we expect in full swing for the big final tomorrow?
Good afternoon to everyone. Say full swing. I think we've got ourselves into the best position we can for the time that we've had available to us. We said early on that we wanted to prepare ourselves as well as we could for firstly the Durand Cup, and secondly for the start of the ISL season. And we spent 3 weeks over in Dubai and reported back a little bit earlier than maybe the club has previously to make sure we could do that. And then we've obviously had to manage our group, manage our squad through the 6 games that we've had now to get us to the 7th. And I think this 7th game will be another wonderful opportunity for us to try and get better again, and firstly try and get some success and win a trophy. And of course that game to try and put us in a good position to start the season in 3 weeks' time.
Coach, a question from Apurva from Durand, India. What are your thoughts on the players' performance so far? What kind of a final are you expecting from them?
I've been really happy with all of our players. I think we've used every single member of our squad, with the exception of 2, throughout the whole 6 games. And that was important to us for a whole host of reasons, whether it was to manage potential injuries or fitness levels, whether it was to avoid suspensions, whilst also making sure we got minutes into all of the players to continue trying to develop and build our game style to prepare us for the next game, as well as, like you said, the start of our season. So that's been, I've been very impressed with the way that the players have gone about their work on and off of the field. And the game I'm expecting is an exciting one. We've set up a way that we want to play, and I speak about it being an exciting brand of football, which is an attack-based, possession-based game. And we've shown that with the amount of goals we've scored in this tournament already. But I know that if you look at the opposition, and they've also had a very good run into this, and they've got some wonderful players in there themselves. So I'm expecting a very exciting and a very good final for everyone involved.
Very well. Coach, a question from Rafi Shah from the Bridge. Mourtada had his first start of competition against Mohammedan SC, and your first clean sheet of the tournament. Has he been the missing link in the backline, and will you be having similar game plan against Bengal?
Was that to me or to Fawn?
It's for you, Coach.
I think we obviously lost Raul Beke early in the tournament against ATK. So when you lose Raul, I've spoken about the role that Roston has played, Roston Griffiths, in our backline whilst Mourtada has been away. And of course we've welcomed in Sanjeev, that's a new signing to us, whilst also managing the game time of Amay and Mandar and Vignesh. So whilst getting minutes into them and trying to get some consistency across our backline, Mourtada arrived a little bit later than others. We needed to firstly make sure he was fit and able, which he certainly is and was. And then it was about introducing him into the game rather than starting him, and that's kind of what we did in the quarterfinals. And the reaction, obviously clearly the work that he's been doing in the off-season anyway, we were confident that if we started him, he'd be able to play 90, maybe 120 should we need him against Mohammedans. So whether or not he was the missing link, I'm not sure, but it's a pleasure to welcome him back, and he certainly brings the strengths that everyone here and the fans know that he does bring, firstly to the back line, but also to our group.
Perfect, Coach. A question for Paul. Paul, that's the most impressive trio of strikers in this tournament you will be up against tomorrow. Any special plans in mind?
No, nothing changed. I think we respect them all, but always we working same way to take care of ourselves, how defending well our back line. This is most important. So any striker we face will do the same job to try to keep clean sheet our goal and win a maximum fighting with them and try to win all balls. No possible all balls, but don't let them easy to play like they want.
Okay. Coach, a question from retired passer from news18.com. Coach, trophy to start season or avoid more injuries, which takes decisions?
So that again, sorry.
For a trophy to start the season or avoiding more injuries take more precedence in this situation?
Abhishek, you'll have to repeat that one.
Just the first part.
A trophy to start the
The
season.
trophy, okay. I think we come into this tournament wanting to prepare. We wanted to pay this competition the respect it deserves by being the oldest competition in India and Asia. And I've said before, I think the way we've tried to prepare ourselves for this tournament, firstly, and certainly the teams that we've put out in each of the games, regardless of who we've played, have shown that. So I think we've put ourselves in the best position we can to try and achieve. We wanted to play 7 games, and we've now got to the 7th. And of course, everyone that makes the final wants to try and win the final. So yes, we'll be doing what we can to put ourselves in the best position to do that. But again, we've shown already we've had injuries throughout the group stages, but we've got a squad depth that has been tested. But the way that the players have managed and the way we've managed to rotate the team, again, that might be important tomorrow, whether that's how we start or whether as the game plays out. So probably a combination of those two, and it's never just two, it's maybe 6 or 7 other things that you're trying to manage at the same time.
Coach, another question for you from Nilatri from Sportstar. Coach, I wanted to know your views on Lachin's first performance this season and what went behind the scenes that he has looked so good this season. Any specific training regimes?
Did you say Fuba, the goalkeeper?
Lachin, yeah.
Yes, yeah, sorry. We've got 3 good goalkeepers at the club, and I think Navas and Fuba had a very good, healthy relationship and competition between each other last season, and that culminated in some wonderful performances in the Champions League from both of them. And then we brought in Bhaskar Roy. Bhaskar brings in with him a wealth of experience, being a little bit older as well. He hasn't had an opportunity yet, but that will come, I'm sure. But what they do is, as a 3, they really push and challenge each other. And with Ramos, the goalkeeper coach as well, you see how well they work together and push each other. And Fuba has grabbed that opportunity when it's come. He's played well in the tournament so far. I think he made some important saves in the past 2 games at important times, and that's what you look for sometimes in your goalkeepers. And it's important that regardless of whoever starts tomorrow, that again they have the opportunity to show what they can do.
Perfect. Coach, question from Shubhajit from Anandabajar. This is for Coach and for both of you. How confident are you to stop Sunil Chhetri and Krishna? Coach, I think you should strengthen this.
I think if you focus all of your attention on 1 or 2 players, you'd be a little bit naive because they have some very good players around those 2 who are, of course, very, very good in their own right. And they've got a good coach in Simon Grayson, who's new and obviously brought some new ideas to what they want to do. So, like Ford's already said, we have a way that we do things with the ball and without. We're aware of the strengths that they have. We've played against both of these players last season, and Ford has played against these for a couple of seasons. I worked with Roy Krishna in Wellington for 3 years at the Wellington Phoenix, so I know Roy very well. But to answer your question, we'll prepare the same way we would for any other team, and it's largely about what we do and how we do it with and without the ball, whilst also making sure we're aware of any potential strengths that they do have, in especially those 2 players.
Enough, eh? It's enough, they say everything. I will see the same.
All right. Coach, any injuries or suspension concerns for tomorrow?
No suspensions. From what I'm told, there are no suspensions that carry through into the final, which is a surprise, but that's the rules. So no suspensions for us, and no injuries. We have the same squad that we had in the last 2 games available to us, fully fit, and And now it's just important that we pick the right team to start the game, and then we manage the squad during the game to make sure we can put the best account of ourselves forward throughout the whole period.
Coach, a question from Levin Post from ITWC. First of all, congratulations to the team on making it to the final in its very first attempt, a commendable achievement in itself. The question is, how would you sum up the entire experience of Durand Cup camping, and how are you prepping for the final match against a strong Bengaluru FC? And how much would it help the team to start the season with winning a silver? I can repeat the questions if you want.
No, it's okay. I'll do my best to try and answer them. I think the benefit and the beauty now of being in this role for 12 months, firstly, has been the consistency we've been able to bring in terms of how we operate both on and off the field, how we want to play, and how we try and hold both our staff and our players to high standards. And I've said before in previous media outlets that if we can continue to try now and be consistent and hold ourselves accountable to those, that we'll be able to play the way we want a lot more consistently, and hopefully the results come with that. Now, I know in tournament football that isn't always the case, and football isn't as straightforward as that sometimes, but if you can remain consistent to your approach, and I think in the last 6 months especially, I think the Champions League, we really started to showcase what we want to do and how we want to do that, and that's taken some time to get there. And then I spoke about picking up from where we left off at the Champions League at the start of this tournament, and that's something we have done. So for us as a club, the last 2 tournaments, the Champions League and coming into this one, they've been it's a wonderful achievement for everyone involved. It's great for the club and the fans, and it's one that we want to continue on, whether it's the final or it's going into the ISL season. So it's something we're looking forward to, regardless of the outcome. I think when you get to a final, it can go anyway. That's football. But the message from me to our players is you have to enjoy the moment, because there's a lot of players that play in their careers and don't ever make finals of any competition. And along come with that is some very good memories that we've already created whilst being here, and we hope to add to those memories come Sunday, the full-time whistle.
Coach, another last question for you from Dilip from Scroll. How do you assess Jacques' performance so far? What targets have you given for the season?
Yeah, I mean, we brought Chante to the club in January of last season, and we done that because we have a way that we want to play, and within that we have player profiles that we try and target. If we haven't got it at the club already, we try and target players who we feel will be able to play that role. And when we looked at the work that Chante did in Chennai, the way he could hold the ball, the way he could link up, the way he could do what he's started to really show now, we felt that he'd add a real important component to our final third game. The one message that we've certainly given to him this year is that we now know what he can do, because he's shown that not just in the ISL but at the ACL as well. But now it's about that final third. It's about the end product, and in his case that's obviously goals, assists, and creating goal scoring moments. And to say he's obviously in form right now, he's been wonderful to watch. The confidence that he's showing with the ball in that final third now, he's added that layer. But it's important that he continues to do that, not just in the final, but he takes that now into the season. Because what really pleased me the other night, and I haven't said this to the players, but I will say that to them this evening before we train, it was the selflessness of the goal that won us the semi-final. It's not just about scoring goals, it's about making the right decisions at important times. And some of the link-up play that allowed us to get into that opportunity for that final goal, a lot of players could and probably would have shot in the final minute there, but he had the composure and the calmness to pick out a pass, which was very difficult, to find Bippin at the back post. So I think when you have a player that's taking his link-up play on, but also now adding that final third, which is what we want him to do, he's showing that not only can he score goals, but he can create them and do that at important times for us.
Perfect. Last question of the session is from Apurva for Paul. Paul, you joined lead into the team, but had a perfect start, a perfect game last time. Having won other titles, what will be your message to the players ahead of the big final?
Your message to the players before the final.
Yeah, is my message like always, never change. So they know how they need to do inside the field, outside the field. I thank all players, professional. We work together. We are one team. So when we are inside on field to work together to help each other, good communication. This is can bring you to the result. So we focus on the game and we can give our 100%. We reached the final, but I think for me, party will be after taking the cup. So now we are focused on that and try to face them, work hard to get the result.
Perfect. I'll be ending the session now. Coach and Paul, thank you for attending and wishing you all the very best. To all our media friends, thank you for attending this pre-match press conference. And I'll be ending the session. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. See you.